What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Farzy Show. My name is Mark Farzetta. The show is presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. It's wonderful to have you along for the ride. It's also wonderful to have Dallas Goedert along for the ride for what looks like at least another year here in Philadelphia. Now, this doesn't mean that he is, going to get, he's not going to be traded during the season, but it certainly helps the idea that he's going to help the Eagles run it back for at least one more year here in Philly, taking a $4 million pay cut just yesterday. I said I'd be surprised. I mean, he's going to come back here on a reworked deal. I don't think so. Take less money? I don't think so. But yet here we are. I felt like it would have been extremely Homer-ish if I would have said, well, the Eagles have such a great culture and they have a chance to win. And, why would you sign anywhere else if they're not offering you a boatload of money more? Forget about a boatload of money more. He said, all right, fine, take $4 million back, but hey, give me up to $1 million in incentives for the next deal. So this year he could be playing he's not playing for $14 million. This year, you know what he's playing for? He's playing for up to $11 million if he hits every single incentive. That's amazing. The most interesting thing that I got out of the Jeff McClain article on Inquirer.com that broke the story, by the way, Jeff McClain, shout out to him. The most interesting thing was the line of opportunities to leave. Dallas Goedert had opportunities to leave. There was one team that was ever mentioned, and that was by Jordan Runnon of ESPN, who covers the Giants, saying that the Giants kicked the tires on Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert, let's just play this out for a second, because, again, it's the only name we really have to go on here. Dallas Goedert was given permission to seek a trade months ago. Dallas Goedert might have gotten a call from the New York Giants, or his agent got a call from the New York Giants, and they said, hey, we're interested in getting the services of Dallas Goedert. How about maybe they went like $15 million, $16 million, whatever. And he said, Giants, F that. No thanks. I'll stay with the Eagles. Just tell them how much money they want to take off the top of my contract for the upcoming season, and I'll just say, okay. Because, yeah, the culture is that great, and the team is that dominant. All the memes were going crazy yesterday. All those social media posts were going crazy yesterday with, there's an arms race in the NFC East. George Pickens is now a member of the Dallas Cowboys. And my take on it yesterday was very simple. All right, now that's just one more guy to add to the Dallas Cowboys choking for the upcoming season. They might be a really good regular season team. They'll choke in the playoffs. Not a concern. Not a concern at all with the Dallas Cowboys. You also look at, Deebo Samuel being added to the mix here in the NFC East, coming over from the San Francisco 49ers to the Washington Commanders. That's Terry McLaurin and him. That's pretty good. Yeah. Still ain't A.J. Brown. Still ain't Devontae Smith. And it sure as hell ain't anywhere else. Dallas Goedert. Now, obviously, the question, we have to push this out. We have to at least mention it every time we talk about Dallas Goedert, is health. Yeah, well, guess what? The Eagles have done a great job with Dallas Goedert's unfortunate health situations over the years. 17 games in the last four years he's missed. That ain't good. But the Eagles at least look to be in a good spot now with Grant Calcaterra. Hopefully another year better in that regard. I know they didn't address it in the draft, but you have to talk about Harrison Bryant coming over here and Kyle Green coming in here as well. The Eagles have some depth at the position now. And Dallas Goedert missed time again last year, and the Eagles only won a Super Bowl. And he was only great in the playoffs as well, especially in that Green Bay game. Come get some. I love it. This is such a great deal for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I know a lot of people can look at it, how he did it again. This entire team, I give credit to the entire Philadelphia Eagles team for this Dallas Goedert move. From Jeffrey Lurie on down to whoever's doing the laundry, okay? Because the culture that they have created here in Philadelphia is worth a $4 million pay cut for a tight end that is doing this rework deal, signing this rework deal a week after George Kittle is signing a epic tight end contract. Dallas Goedert went from a $5 million difference between him and the highest paid tight end in football to a near $9 million, $10 million difference. You don't do that with, yes, A, the opportunity to win, B, having already won here, and C, you don't do that. C, you don't do that without the without the culture that is going on here in Philadelphia. Every single player talks about it that comes here. Every player that's already here talks about how great it is. The rookies talked about it after the rookie camp workouts last week. I mean, this is just simply fantastic. This is the team that we have waited for. I talked about it a lot with Jalen Hurts. Like, this is the quarterback we've waited for all this time. And now he's here. And he's winning. This is the team we've been waiting for. This is the era of Eagles football that we have been waiting for. This era right now. I don't want to take it for granted for a second. A tight end that is not going to get many big deals, doesn't have many big deals left in his career, maybe one more, is spending one more year at least with the Philadelphia Eagles because, well, I guess nothing else worked out well. And also, if you take a $4 million pay cut, I think it also means that you really want to stay in that position. I think that's a pretty safe bet. Why would you want to go anywhere else? Why would you want to go anywhere else if you're a Philadelphia Eagle? This is an exclamation point on how much of a phenomenal job Howie Roseman and company have done here in Philadelphia. When I saw the news yesterday, I was like, oh, how much is this going to cost the Eagles? Is it a contract extension? What is it? And no, it's a pay cut. You can say rework deal all you want, but it's a pay cut to help keep the band together, to help this Eagles team run it back. And I have spoken about at length about how dominant this offense can be and how dominant it could be still without Dallas Goedert. But now you throw Dallas Goedert out there with his run blocking ability, pass blocking ability, pass catching ability, and keep all that out there. And you just don't have a hole on this offense. Not one thing that a defensive coordinator can look at and go, all right, well, we'll just focus. No, we can't do that because if we do this, then that'll happen. All right, we'll just focus on. Nope, can't do that. The offense is intact. Mekhi Becton is out. Kenny Gainwell is back, but A.J. Dillon is in. You have a slew of guys that could be playing the right guard position for you. Even Drew Kendall, your rookie. Defensively, you got to see how some things work out here, but I got confidence the defense is going to be pretty damn good. And if it's not, then sometimes a dominant offense is your best defense. So kudos to the Philadelphia Eagles for making this happen. I am absolutely beside myself and was all throughout yesterday with joy that the Eagles were able to make this happen. Absolutely amazing. And then on top of all of this yesterday, Brian Baldinger is on NFL Network, and Brian Baldinger drops a name that I just won't put down. And that's Justin Simmons. The one missing piece in all of this, because keep in mind, this is $4 million that's also helping you on the cap this year. Justin Simmons, ladies and gentlemen, is still out there. And Brian Baldinger was just, he was letting that name rip yesterday on NFL Network. Justin Simmons wants to be an Eagle. And he seemed as convinced as I've been about him coming here to Philadelphia Eagles. Because the one thing that doesn't make sense now is to go into this season with Drew Makuba as your free safety. And I'm not saying he won't be a great free safety in the NFL. I'm not saying he won't be a great safety in the NFL. I'm not saying that he's going to be a second-round bust or anything like that. What I'm saying is similar to the deal that Justin Simmons signed with the Falcons, he could get here in Philadelphia. And now it's even more affordable with the reworked deal of Dallas Goedert. Oh, and that's a nice little maturation process. That's a nice little learning curve for Drew Makuba to be able to come in here to Philadelphia. And, I can learn the system from Justin Simmons, a guy who knows it inside and out. Sign me up for it. Sign me up for it. What a day yesterday. Phillies went on to win. What did you expect? What was the most surprising thing from yesterday? Was it Dallas Goedert taking a $4 million pay cut to stay as an Eagle? Stay an Eagle. Or was it Taijuan Walker tossing 3 scoreless innings with 7 strikeouts yesterday to pick up his first career save? What was the more shocking thing that took place yesterday? If you watched that game yesterday, it was absolutely incredible. This is what Taijuan Walker brought to the table yesterday. 3 innings, 1 hit allowed, 7 strikeouts. 45 pitches thrown in that time. That's insane. This is how insane it is. Yesterday was the 7th of May. Okay. All right. A year and 2 days prior is the last time Taijuan Walker struck out 7 batters in a game. He struck out 7 over those 3 innings last night. Okay. He struck out 7 over 6 1/3 against the Giants over a year ago. He doesn't strike out 7 batters in a game. He sure as hell doesn't put up 3 scoreless innings very often over his time as a Philadelphia Philly. And he did it yesterday. What a day. If you're still trying to pick your jaw up off the ground from yesterday, I don't blame you one bit. I don't blame you one bit. So we got a whole slate of things. Oh, by the way, while I'm talking about it here, I know I mentioned the Super Bowl odds yesterday for your Philadelphia Eagles. Still at 650. I checked it again before the show. Tight ends aren't going to have much of an impact on that, but it stayed at 650 right then and there. And oh my God, look, the Dallas Cowboys still not on this list. Isn't that amazing? Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. Oh man, that must be terrible. Absolutely terrible for Dallas Cowboys fans. Just a shame. Just a shame, really. When I really kick around, was doing this especially yesterday, really kick around what this Eagles team could be. The phrase arms race comes to mind. And when I see these other teams trying to load up, I keep on going back to the idea that the Eagles are just so far ahead of everybody in the NFL. I have tremendous amount of respect for other teams in the NFL. I got a tremendous amount of respect for the Detroit Lions yesterday or last year. Just as an example, okay. I still got tremendous respect for the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, in the AFC, meet them in the Super Bowl again. Sure, let's party. But the evidence is mounting when you talk about how dominant this Philadelphia Eagles team could be again in the upcoming season. This is a special time. And I find myself in a very similar state of mind. And I said this even before Dallas Goedert was re-upped. The last time I felt like this about a team was the Phillies when they won in 2008. It felt like it was, this is just the beginning. You're going to win at least one more. Maybe two, at least two more. You're going to win 2 more. Could it be a 3-peat? And of course, that did not go well. As we all know, that was a progressive step backwards. But when you can go into an NFL season, and we still got time to go here to sign Justin Simmons, we still got time to look at here for this Philadelphia Eagles team. Still time to prepare, and mini camp, OTAs, training camp, all that. We still got all that to get ready for it. Well, this Philadelphia Eagles team, when you can go into a season with the only thing that you're concerned about is the thing that every team has to be concerned about, as well as everything else that they're adding on to that plate as to what they should be concerned about. If the only thing you're concerned about as a Philadelphia Eagles team is health, you got it pretty good. You got it pretty good. Yeah, we'll have questions. I mean, if it's a matter of Keely Ringo or Adoree Jackson as your outside corner opposite Quentin Mitchell, yeah, I feel good about either. Not great. I'm not looking at Pro Bowl seasons, but I feel good. I feel good about it. Justin Simmons is your safety. I feel pretty good about that. Jahad Campbell. Look, Vic Fangio doesn't come into that draft room with a smile on his face, ear to ear, unless he thinks Jahad Campbell can flat out play in his defense. And I'm going to go ahead and trust Vic Fangio's know-how when it comes to knowing what players can play and what players can't play, especially on the defensive side of football. So I'm going to go ahead and trust that. He's certainly not down on the Ty Robinson signing and the versatility that he could bring to the table here. When you talk about a guy possibly taking over for Milton Williams and playing at a similar level when you're next to Jalen Carter. The edge rushers that the Eagles have brought in here in the offseason, whether it's through the draft or whether it's through free agency, I don't have many questions. I know a guy like Azeez Ojulari can play. It's just a matter of whether or not he can stay healthy. And maybe playing on natural grass a little bit more often will help for the turf monster at MetLife Stadium. Oh, and once more, just to reiterate. The Philadelphia Eagles offense, if the defense can't get it together or some of these younger guys need a little bit of a learning curve, well, then your offense is going to be one hell of a defense. It is a amazing thing to look at this Eagles roster, look at what they accomplished last year. And when I talk and just marvel at it, it's also amazing to think about last year blowing out the Commanders. The only game you lose to the Commanders is a game where you only had Jalen Hurts for 11 snaps. And, even in that game, Kenny Pickett and the Eagles were a Devontae Smith drop away from winning that football game. That's pretty spectacular. It's pretty spectacular. And then you had a blowout victory in the Super Bowl as well against Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I'd say this is cause to be optimistic about the upcoming season. I would certainly say that this is not rose-colored glasses. This is no personal bias. This is nothing to do with the idea of rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is objectively looking at it and go, wow, the Eagles absolutely dominated last season, including a 10-game winning streak, blowout wins in the playoffs. Now they have the opportunity to run it back, at the very least offensively speaking, with the one major change being Mekhi Becton and everything else being kind of just falling right into place the way it did last year. And, hey, it's not just my confidence in this team. It's not just your confidence in this team. It's not Howie Roseman's confidence in this team. Dallas Goedert is $4 million confident that this Eagles team can run it back and play at an extremely high level like they did last year. You know what's better than a Super Bowl championship? You know what's better than a Super Bowl parade? You know what's better than a Super Bowl ring? 2 of them. That's what's better. That's what's better. In some cases, maybe even more so than $4 million. Pretty remarkable. This is your football team. This is not, for a lot of us, this is not the team we grew up with. We grew up with teams that had great opportunities, great chances, never capitalized on them, never brought the trophy home. You didn't grow up with a Lombardi Trophy banner unfurled on the outside of Lincoln Financial Field for all to see on 95. We didn't grow up with that. Now there's going to be 2. We didn't grow up with, speaking of Super Bowl banners, 2 Super Bowl championship banners unfurled at Lincoln Financial Field. Now there's going to be 2. And counting. When I look at Dallas Goedert, by the way, individually speaking, you could talk about a guy that's very easily a top 3 tight end in the NFL. When you talk about his complete game, I have said for years now that you're talking about, at worst, a top 5 guy. At best, a top 3. The only issue is him staying on the football field. If he stays on the football field, you're talking about a guy that's going to get stats, tally stats, accrue stats that will be worthy of the talent. But in a much different degree, but similar philosophy, Saquon Barkley, when he was in New York, was, I still feel, if not one of the most talented running backs in the NFL. It was just a matter of whether or not he was going to go out there and stay healthy enough and have a good enough offensive line to keep him healthy enough to go out there and get those stats together to prove just how good he is, prove how talented he is. Dallas Goedert's in a similar case, but at the tight end position. will he be able to stay healthy enough to put those great numbers together to show that he can be a perennial Pro Bowler? Because we know that he can do all the things that don't really show up on the stat sheet. They don't show up in the box score. They don't help your fantasy football scores. We know he has the ability to do it, but do it at a great rate. Now, he hasn't been healthy enough to do it. So I absolutely can't wait for this season. And when I look at what he could bring to the table here, if he can get that year. And by the way, now you're also getting a guy that, God forbid, he doesn't stay healthy again. He adds that 17 games missed total over the last 4 years. Let's say he can't play. Well, it's instead of it being a $14 million player or on a contract extension and re-up to maybe $16 million a year, which I think we all know was never going to happen. Well, it ain't costing you as much for a guy that's missing those games. So there, if you want that, there you go. But I don't want to even think about a game where Dallas Goedert is not playing on this offense because the Eagles pulled it off yesterday. Because this team has another phenomenal opportunity to win a Super Bowl, and because the culture here in Philadelphia is too good to pass up. I mentioned in the Jeff McClain article the line, he had opportunities to leave. Opportunities, not he had an opportunity. Again, the only one we know about is possibly the New York Giants saying, "Hey, what's going on with Dallas Goedert?" And Dallas Goedert right after that draft being like, "Yep, screw that. How much, Philadelphia? 10 million? Sold. I'm back." Whatever doesn't land me in New York. Whatever doesn't land me with the New York Giants and keeps me with the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm all for. Giants? Oh, no. You wanted me to take a $2 million pay cut? Make it $4 million. Just, make it extra worth it, I guess. Oh, what a time. What a time to be alive here in Philadelphia. What a time here to be alive. Hey. So I asked you earlier, what was more shocking? Taijuan Walker's 3 scoreless innings and 7 strikeouts, or Dallas Goedert re-upping? Last night's Phillies game was awesome. My takeaway from their first game in this series against the Tampa Bay Rays was, hey, these are the types of wins that we could, I hope we should get used to. Where the Phillies, when they put up runs, this offense puts up runs. The big bats provide some runs, and they win 8-4, and maybe the bullpen comes in and makes you a little uneasy. The way Orion Kerkering and Matt Strahm did in game 1 of this series. Well, I could get used to 7-0 wins as well. I think I could do that. And he only hit 1 home run as opposed to 3. This one wasn't on opposite field. It was pulled to right center field. Or should be left center field. Really left field by Trey Turner on his second home run of the season. An absolute bullet. That was pretty incredible. A 5-run, 4th inning. Bryce Harper capping off the offense with a 2-run double to left center field. That really capped off the offense there in the inning for the 5-run 4th. And then they get another one on a Bryson Stott RBI single. Bryson Stott, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, 2 RBI nights. Yeah, I'll be there for it. This is the lineup that backed up a great pitching performance yesterday. Stott, Turner, Schwarber, multi-hit nights. Stott, Turner, Harper, multi-RBI nights. And Johan Rojas only gets credit for 1 hit last night. But he also had a fantastic RBI sack bunt that was just picture perfect. Look, I'm not someone that's Johan Rojas is up there. He's got a bunt. I'm not banging the drum for that, but I know he can do it. And if he wants to just put that out there on the table every now and again, yeah, go ahead. If it's a part of your game, go ahead and do it. Well, he did it last night with perfection, I might add. They get the run home. He saved it first. Everybody wins, except, the Rays, of course. But yesterday was fantastic. Christopher Sanchez, I will use this with Christopher Sanchez. It's weird to say this for a guy that had 6 scoreless innings, allowing only 1 hit. He did walk 3. He didn't have his best stuff yesterday. We've seen his best stuff. He lost his arm slot a little bit there in I want to say it was the 2nd and 3rd inning, maybe. Put some guys on, but just consistently, if he got runners on, even at 1st and 2nd, he got out of anything that was close to a jam throughout that game. When he needed put away pitches or shut down innings, he got them. It was awesome. And then Taijuan Walker goes out there And his splitter looks fantastic. His sinker looked great. He was just in total control. Struck out the side in his first inning there in the 7th, came out there in the 8th, gave up a hit, but was fine after that. The only hit he'd give up. And I can't emphasize it enough. 7 strikeouts in 3 innings for Taijuan Walker. Now, here's what's really interesting. A couple of things came out after the game from Trey Turner and Rob Thompson. Let's stick with Rob Thompson on the pitching aspect of this. So I didn't know what Taijuan Walker was going to do last night. I didn't know if he was going to be done after the 7th. I didn't know if he was going to be done after the 8th. And I was really unsure as to whether or not he was going to come back out for the 9th inning. But he came back out for the 9th inning. And he threw 45 pitches through 3 innings of work. That seems like a little bit. You know, I know he was just a starter. This is his relief debut this year. Again, first career save. But after the game, Rob Thompson said, yeah, we want to keep him out there for longer if we can to keep him somewhat stretched out in case we do go to a 6-man rotation. Interesting. That is interesting. In case we do go to a 6-man rotation. It's on the mind. Usually this isn't something that gets brought up unless a media member says, hey, would you ever think of going to a 6-man rotation? And then the manager's always like, I don't know. I mean, a 6-man rotation. I don't know if very some vague, nondescript, general answer. Coach speak, manager speak in this case. But Rob Thompson just put it out there on the table. Yeah, well, we want to keep him out there, longer, pitching more, and stretched out in case we need a 6-man rotation. Andrew Painter is going to be up here before we know it. Now, when I say before we know it, I mean like July, August, hopefully. Promoted to Lehigh Valley already. How about that? So that's where I'm at. But Rob Thompson just put it out there on the table yesterday. Interesting. Then the other part about this is Trey Turner had to have a conversation with. Now, I'm sure in every walk of life, you don't have to be a professional athlete, professional ball player to have this. But like, you ever know something, but it just helps to hear it from somebody outside your brain. Like, it helps to not think it. It helps to hear it. You know what I mean? So Trey Turner has this conversation, not with Kevin Long, but with Rob Thompson. Again, it all goes back to Tinker Topper. Topper puts it out there saying, hey, stop trying to hit home runs. Just trying to go out there and act like a leadoff hitter in the 2 spot. No, he's getting leadoff reps, obviously, against left-handed pitching. But for the most part, act like a leadoff hitter, even when you're batting in the 2 spot. Act like a leadoff hitter. Try to take pitches, try to work counts, try to foul pitches away. He's like, all I want from you is singles and doubles. If home runs happen, let the home runs be mistakes. Well, if last night was a mistake, that home run was out of here. It just hit on the screws. 403 feet to left field. Then the guy comes up, he's in doubles, he's getting singles. Trey Turner is getting multi-hit games now. I think it's Todd Zalecki that did the math on this. 8 of his last 16 games, people. 8 of Trey Turner's last 16 games, he's had multi-hit nights. That's a guy who's locked in. That's a guy who's on fire. That's a guy who's taking some good ABs and having some good swings. Going up there with an approach, with a plan, and executing that approach, that plan. Not just because of the Eagles, but also right now it's a good time to be a Phillies fan. It's a good time to be in Philadelphia. So Rob Thompson, as one would expect, very much involved with the goings-on to this Philadelphia Eagles. That'd be funny if it was the Eagles. Howie Rose would call it Rob Thompson. Very much involved with the success and the turnaround of the Philadelphia Phillies, from getting embarrassed against the Mets to now going into this series, looking for their 4th series win in a row. They accomplished that with their win last night. And also the Phillies now having an opportunity to go for a series sweep of the Tampa Bay Rays tonight. 7:05 start time. Jesus Luzardo gets the ball. Yeah, I can't. Very, very much looking forward to what could happen tonight. Also, worth noting, Kyle Schwarber has been on fire for this team. Bryce Harper gets the big double last night for the Phils. there's something somebody pointed out to me during the postcast last night that I failed to mention on my own. But JT Realmuto, okay, so JT Realmuto, I should mention, fouled a ball off his foot last night. It looked like it really bothered him. He stated he kept going through the at-bat. They didn't take him out. They later put it Rafael Marchand, who, by the way, is hitting a cool 100 now in the season. So JT Realmuto, after the game, Rob Thompson was also asked about him. He was fine. No x-ray needed. He was walking around the clubhouse. He was fine. No big deal. He might get the day off today. He's got Luzardo pitching, so most likely Rafael Marchand will be behind the plate. But JT Realmuto had a 10-pitch at bat for himself last night. That was pretty remarkable. That might have been the same inning he got the ball off his foot. I could be wrong. And Bryson Stott also had a 10-pitch at bat in the third inning of last night's game. He ended up lining out to center field, but full count. The 23rd full count Stott has had this season. That's pretty damn good. In that 10-pitch at bat, so you'd love to see that. And yeah, Realmuto in the 7th inning had that 10-pitch at bat, and he got the ball hit off his fouled a ball off his foot in that. So should be fine. Most likely get the day off today, though. But Phillies back at it tonight, 7:05 start time again. Jesus Luzardo gets it going for the Phils. So there you go. Let me tell you about no, NBA playoffs. Oh my goodness gracious. Usually I take joy in the Boston Celtics losing. But when they lose to the New York Knicks, and they're down to the New York Knicks now 0-2 in that series. And McCall Bridges is the guy making plays to solidify those wins. Defensively, I can take no joy out of it. Former Sixer McCall Bridges, by the way. I mean, he didn't make it on a draft night, but, former Sixer nonetheless. Just as I was saying, you might know something, but when you hear it finally, instead of just thinking it, it might settle in a little bit more. Well, in this case, when I watch the Boston Celtics, I know it's a team that has lapped the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Boston Celtics didn't have to go through any type of awful process, any type of long-term tanking. When I look at the New York Knicks, they're a team that was obviously in purgatory for a long time, but they didn't go through the process as we did, and now they've lapped the 76ers. And now, despite following I'm watching the Sixers. I'm watching the Phillies last night, but I'm keeping an eye on what's going on in that playoff series. And as I'm following that, and I see that the Knicks come back from another 20-point deficit to win that game, I not only think about two teams lapping in your own division, nonetheless, the 76ers, I also look at the far road ahead of the current 76ers team. And I go back, I think about Joel Embiid, think about the health, think about the process, think about guys like Tyrese Maxey coming along and Jared McCain coming along, and whether or not you're going to get with this, 63, 64% chance of keeping your top 6 pick. I think about all that. And I just think about, I talked about the Phillies winning a World Series and how you thought that was just going to be the beginning. Well, when the Sixers were in their height of cashing in the chips of the process, they did it for what amounted to be a rental player in Jimmy Butler, and a guy that ended up signing a deal that was one of the most disappointing deals in Philadelphia sports history, in Tobias Harris. Those were the two big chips that you cashed in. And then you think about the number 1 overall picks in Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons, and you think, it could have worked out better, but it did not. It worked out pretty terrible. And then I think about, the phrase that everyone likes to utter, and I know they say it tongue-in-cheek, but, we sacrificed the Sixers so the Eagles could win a Super Bowl. Another one. People are paying for, if the Eagles just win the Super Bowl, I'll give you this. Help me, Lord. So as much as I'm riding a high from yesterday with Dallas Goedert re-upping with the Eagles, restructuring his deal with the Eagles. Munson riding a high with the Phillies winning their 4th straight series. Now on the cusp of winning, sweeping a series, and Taijuan Walker dealing. It just reminded last night as I go in that little rabbit hole with the Knicks winning, with the way they won. It's hurtful. It brings you back down to earth. It brings you back down to earth for sure. Not great. Not great. Anyway, Knicks up in the series, 2-0 on the Boston Celtics. McCall Bridges comes away with steals to clinch both victories for the Knicks. Yep. This is the world we live in. Good times. Hey, let me tell you about the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app. Hold on. Just this one more. This is my final thought on the Sixers. Okay, I think we're on the same page. Hey, let me tell you about the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code Farzy. Get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Want to go to the game, the concert, the comedy show? Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code Farzy, and get $20 off your first purchase. Don't forget about the Game Time Picks feature as well. You know what that does? That allows you to filter out all the fluff so you get right down to it. The best seats at the best prices on the Game Time app. Also, you can view your seat before you buy it, so you take the guesswork out of buying tickets with the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code Farzy, get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. How about PHL Sports Nation? Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. How about Brett over at Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Check out Brett's amazing inventory at SkyMotorcars.com. Let's get into the chat check and see how your wonderful people are doing on this fine Thursday morning already. You know, you have Monday off, okay? And just the whole week starts flying by. It's already trash day in my neighborhood, okay? It's already trash day. I got boxes to break down. Oh, my goodness gracious. Sean Kilrain, hello, good morning. Sean Kilrain in the draft odds, lottery odds for the 76ers. A 10.5% chance. By the way, the draft lottery is, Monday. It's Monday, the 12th. 10.5 at second, 10.6 at the third spot, 10.5 at the fourth spot, 2.2% at the 5.5. Do I read this right? Oh, 6%. Okay, I see what you're saying now. 19.6% chance at number 6. 26% chance at 7. No, we don't want 7. We don't want that. Jason A., good morning. How about the complete game from the Phillies? Yeah, a combined shutout with 2 pitchers. Love to see it. And the Phillies had a big inning. They tacked on runs in the second and 6th inning? Yeah. Got the scoring started in the 3rd with Trey Turner's home run. A 5-run 4th inning, and then another run there, courtesy of a Bryson Stott RBI single in the 6th. Sean Gillespie, hello. William Stark, hello. Phillies take another series. Sanchez was cooking last night. Holy guacamole. There you go. Jason A., hello. Goedert is a better weapon than probably every one of those names besides C.D. Lamb. Would argue not to mention we have Smitty and AJ. See, that's what I'm talking about. This is a super team we're talking about here. And I understand defensively there's question marks. But if you want to just stay with the constant, stay with the known quantity, this is a dominant offense. This is a super offense. This is a super team offense the Eagles have. Questions have been answered. That's it. Can they stay healthy? Nobody knows the answer to that one. But as I said, if you could go into an NFL season with the concern being health, and that's it, you're doing everything right. And I mentioned this a lot going through last year, as a matter of fact. I knew the Philadelphia Eagles were going to have a phenomenal 2017 season when I went into the year concerned about a backup quarterback, which ended up being Nick Foles, by the way. How'd that work out? Pretty damn good. And who your long snapper was going to be. Those were the concerns going into the season. Everything else I felt pretty good about. If that's your concern when training camp breaks and the season's about to get underway, I'd say you're feeling pretty good. You know what I mean? I just watched a couple Curb Your Enthusiasms. That's why Larry David was on my mind. So there you go. Sean Kilrain, can you say Justin Simmons? Hello? He'll be here, Mark. Mark my words, Farzy. Haters gonna hate. Sean Kilrain, you and I are on the same page, bros. He's an Eagle. Don't even call him a free agent anymore. Just call him an Eagle. From the Falcons to the good birds. From the dirty birds to the championship birds. We'll be bird watching. April, morning fam. How we working the magic? Right. Sean Gillespie. So glad Dallas got it to steal. How could you not be? How could you not be? How could you not be? Literally, get the notification. I didn't do the dumbfounded look at my phone like I did with Saquon Barkley. I just wanted to know what the contract was. They had reworked the deal. So I was expecting, is it an extension with money pushed back? Nope. It is a $4 million pay cut. That's what it is. Again, I do want to point out that I still don't think this is a guarantee by any means that Dallas Goedert plays the entire year with the Eagles. But if the Eagles didn't have the intent to do that, I mean, actually, you're talking about a $4 million pay cut. It's a little easier to trade now, obviously, with being less money, but he doesn't want to go anywhere. I think the Eagles would love to have him on this roster for a 1-year deal. Try to run it back again, and then maybe next year with all the draft capital you have, you draft that tight end. It is just a very rare thing where the Eagles don't have that tight end waiting in the wings. We've been through the lineage of it before. I mean, Brent Selleck to Ertz. I mean, we could go through it. Ertz to Goddard, Goddard to Calcaterra, or whoever they drafted next year's draft. I don't know. Jeremy Van Skyver, hello. Walker 7 Ks in 3 innings to finish the game was definitely unexpected. Dallas at this point will bet on himself on a great team. Chance to win another championship, no brainer for me. There you go. That's another thing. After this year, you're a free agent. You play this year, and boom, sign a huge deal in the offseason. Sean Kilrain's answering the question as well. Has to be Taijuan Walker's 7 strikeouts in a save situation. Ties the Phillies record. The only other guy to do it, Jack Meyer, in a 4-3 win over the Dodgers in 1958. Oh, okay. By the way, I always find this fascinating. People, somebody in last night's, I think it was postcast, said you can't have a save in a 7-0 win. Yeah, you can. And one of my favorite oddities in sports is the Baltimore Orioles lost a game to the Texas Rangers 15 years ago, maybe. And it was like a 30-4 game. 30-4. I forget who it was for the Rangers, but one of their relievers recorded a save in that game. It was like 30-4. And there was a save recorded. So, yeah, you bet your ass in a 7-0 game there can be a save. George Pickens, hello. The perfect Dallas Cowboy player. Drama. Looks like Rodgers will end up in Pittsburgh. Not sure why they're doing what they're doing over there. They're all the all geriatric team. That's great. Jason A. Goddard staying is huge and honestly only makes sense. I agree. Ronald Brinson, hello. Good morning. We good? April, I was still stressed with Walker, but I'm glad he did so good. As am I. It was a moment of, okay, you got a 7-0 lead. Don't blow this. Taijuan Walker, I mean, I'll use the word electric. He was electric last night. Back to Ronald. Taijuan looked great yesterday. More importantly, he looked comfortable and confident. Absolutely. James Alexander. How you doing, buddy? Great complete game shutout. Well, by the team. Yeah. GM, brother. Hello. Good morning, brother. Good morning, Ken. Nice to see you. God bless you guys, my friend. God bless you. Longest Phillies on base streaks in franchise history, 48 games, Bobby Abreu. Man, Bobby Abreu. Odubel Herrera, womp, womp, and Kyle Schwarber right now. Man, Bobby Abreu. I find myself because when I started to fall in love with the Phillies again, Bobby Abreu was here, and the strike really hit me below the belt as a kid. I was like 12, I think. Yeah. But the great vibes in 93, and then you started to come back around, getting back into baseball. Bobby Abreu was one hell of a player. I mean, we know him more for being afraid of the wall and not wanting to lead off. But damn, he was so good. And that 2001 team, I know I've said this many times, that might be the most obscure thing I could say. But if I have a favorite team that did nothing, like not even make the playoffs, it is without question that 2001 Philadelphia Phillies team with Marlon Anderson, second base, Jimmy Rollins at short, Scott Rowland at third. That was one hell of a team. Travis Lee at first base. I think Travis Lee was at first base. It was the post Rico Bronya. That was one hell of a Doug Glanville in center. Mike Lieberthal behind the plate for a little bit of time before he got hurt. Then it was the Johnny Estrada, Todd Pratt platoon behind the plate. Bobby Abreu and right. That team was one of my favorite teams, man. And Bobby Abreu had a phenomenal year that year. He'd had a slew of phenomenal years. And we booed him when he came back to Philadelphia. He won a gold glove. Yes, we all know the gold glove was bull, but he won a gold glove. That Bobby Abreu, if I got to, I think the only time we really booed Donovan was the draft. I know he got booed for worm burners and whatnot, but he got a cheer, if I'm not mistaken, when he came back with the Washington football team. But if you showed the numbers and the career to anybody outside of Philly and say, hey, this guy comes back, what type of reception do you think he got? Oh, 20 minutes standing ovation. Oh, it's Bobby Abreu? Boo. He's one of the names I look back on and be like, man, if you could just have him in any lineup in any era in Phillies history, he'd be a great addition. Ronald Brinson, Herrera, what happened with him and the Phillies? Well, I think he ended up in the Mexican League. Yeah. I've talked about baseball players with low baseball IQs. I'm just going to do a blanket statement. Low IQ. Odubel Herrera. Daz, what's up, buddy? Painter? Best pitcher name ever. Painter. What, the corner? Huh? Philly Magic 365. Hello. It would be nice for Sanchez and Wheels to win the Cy Young this year. It would be. Compete for a Cy Young? Let's go. I'm confused with Trey. Seems to look. My feeling on him, Ronald, is just that he's been trying to do too much. How does one watch the postcast? I'm glad you asked. You log on to Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. That's Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. Okay? You subscribe after the game. I try to get on within, 5-10 minutes right after the game. Bang, bang, boom. Give you my takes for, 15, 20 minutes. Sometimes I run a little longer, depending on how verbose, I guess I could be. Look where Goedert, man, Sean, how do you are these copies and pasting, or did you just hammer these out? He is very good. Ertz, 6,267 yards, over 579 catches, 38 touchdowns in 123 games. Goedert is right up there with these guys. I mean, Ertz is the leader, but yeah, that's pretty remarkable. Just stay healthy, please. Wow, Sean Gillespie, interesting. On another note, a primatologist confirmed that 100 men would destroy a gorilla. Now you know. Well, that's interesting, Sean. I did not consult a primatologist, but I'm going to take your word for it. And I'm also going to hope that I'm never one of the 100 men that has to take on a gorilla. Because with my luck, I'd be like the first guy to go in there and be like, this was a mistake. JT can use a few more days off if you want him down the stretch. Ronald, my big thing, hey, I wanted Rafael Marchand to give plenty more days off to JT Realmuto. He has not earned it either behind the plate or at the plate. Greg Benson, I am reportedly relieved that Goedert is staying. I am extremely relieved. Can confirm, Greg, we're relieved that Dallas Goedert is staying in Philadelphia. Dominant offense. Yes, please and thank you. Yes, please and thank you. He completes the offense. Love to have him. The $4 million. My major takeaway from this is if I'm taking a $4 million pay cut to go somewhere, that place better be awesome, and I better feel like I can win. Oh, and the culture again might be fantastic. Check. All those things for Dallas Goedert. Also, I find a little comedy in it, and the only name that was ever associated to Dallas Goedert was the New York Giants, and that means that Dallas Goedert's camp had to have heard from the New York Giants at some point and be like, "Hey, do you want to come to New York?" And Dallas Goedert and his agent were probably like, "Screw that! Tell Philly we'll come back for a lot less money." Oh, Greg Benson going through Curb again as well. I'm in season 5, still so good. One of my favorite episodes of TV ever is The Social Assassin. That is just when they give a job to Larry and he said, I don't want to say what it is for people who haven't seen it. And he just goes, "I'm not your man." I lose it. That is, oh God, what a great show. The Mom Mommy. Hey, happy soon to be Mother's Day, the Mom Mommy. Good morning, Farzi. Phil's rocking. Dallas Goedert back. Hell yeah. Pin 9617. Hello. Morning, Farzi. When will the fate of the tush push be decided? That's a great question. I hear if you see black smoke, that means the tush push is still in existence. If you see white smoke, that means the tush push is gone. That's how we'll know. That's what they're voting on right now. If that Pizza Bowley guy doesn't win, I'm going to be beside myself. By the way, I've been thinking about, speaking of random references, you know that line in Good Will Hunting when Robin Williams is trying to describe, hey, you might know a lot of stuff, but you haven't experienced a lot of stuff? One of my favorite lines ever, really in any movie, is, "You can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel." It's one of my favorite lines. I remember when I was in the Sistine Chapel some years ago, and I was like, "It smells like a barn." So now you know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wasn't focused on that. It was beautiful. Only thing concerning, and then this as well for anyone who's been there. Silencio. Shut up. That's what it means. No, they didn't say stop and Z, but you know what I'm saying. All right. Jeremy, I hit you. Sorry. Only thing concerning me with this offense, the unknown, is Kevin Patullo. That's fair. That's fair. Don't want Nick calling plays. I don't think Nick's calling plays. I don't think Nick's ever going to call plays. Daz on the thing, the other thing with the save situation. Yeah, you can pitch more than 3 innings. Yeah. T-Bro, what's up, buddy? Taiwan Walker goes by the old saying, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe crap. Number 5 will always love you. It was bound to happen. Dad says, okay, how about this one? 1 Jalen Carter versus 100 Gorillas. I'm taking Jalen Carter. TripAdvisor reviews by Farzy. Smells like a barn. Make sure you shut your mouth. It is still one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's just amazing. Think about all the history that goes into it. Dev, what's up, Dev? Just getting better, Farzy. Do you want Simmons? Yes. Just getting here, Farzy. Do you want Simmons? Yes. Or want to see the rookie start Makuba? Here's the pipe dream. You always want to believe that the player is on your roster already, like the next great player is on your roster. I don't believe that Drew Makuba right now is the next great player. So with that being thrown out the window, I'm just going to go with this. Justin Simmons is coming to the Philadelphia Eagles. I want Justin Simmons to be on the Philadelphia Eagles. I feel like Justin Simmons makes this defense a whole hell of a lot better and takes away a lot of doubt. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I want Justin Simmons on this team. Would I want to see the rookie start? Yeah, if he's worthy of it. But if he's not going to bring it with Justin Simmons, he's going to bring you. Not happening. All right, thanks everybody. Daz green smoke. I see green smoke. Wait, I'm pasting these, Farzy. If I type it fast, sign me up for a desk job. There you go. There you go. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful as per usual. Let's get to the morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Again, I can't say it enough. Dallas Goedert coming back to the Philadelphia Eagles for a $4 million pay cut. Could get $1 million worth of incentives in the upcoming season. Just means you're running it back, babe. And this offense is going to be fantastic yet again. No holes in this offense. Also, no interest in joining the Giants. And the rest of the league still has a lot of catching up to do on the Philadelphia Eagles. Makes me feel great about that. Makes me want to brag more about the Eagles culture, how great it is here in Philly. And here's the other thing I didn't even mention yet. You think other teams, you think other players around the league aren't noticing this? Wait, hold on a second. This guy's taking a $4 million pay cut? Didn't George Kittle just sign a record deal at the same position? And this guy's taking $4 million less? Now $9 million less than the biggest tight end deal out there? Wow, the Eagles must have something special. You damn right they do. I mentioned it already. I'll mention it again. Phillies go for the sweep of the Rays. 7:05 tonight. Jesus Luzardo, gets the start against oh, damn it. How do you say this kid's name? Hold on. I nailed this last night. Hold on. Okay. Ryan Papillo starts against the Phillies tonight as they go for the sweep of the Rays. There you go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hey, we got a new Locked On Eagles Squad podcast today with me, Jason Martinez, and Louis DiBiase on Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. We're going to be doing that at 1 o'clock today. Look forward to that. And also, I have Locked On Phillies postcast tonight on Locked On Phillies YouTube channel, so don't miss that. Hey, make sure you guys like and subscribe to all that. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the Farzy Show YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Jacob Media. Speaking of which, you got Birds 365 coming up at 8 o'clock today with Xander and John McMullen, so don't miss that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta.
Well, that's pretty dope.
I'll see you guys. This afternoon at 1. And then I'll see you guys tonight after the Phillies complete the sweep of the Rays. Right? See you guys then.